We are in July. We are halfway through the entire year. It's hard to believe, but we have some exciting stuff to cover over the next hour. So I'm going to dig into today's program. So as always, just a reminder, knowledge is not power, execution is power. So before we start today's program, if you're going to invest 1 hour of your precious time with us today, please have a notepad out and just write down 1 or 2 things you're going to take away from today's program and bring it over to your business. So we want to have you execute. If you're spending lots of time with us, we want to have you execute. We want to welcome our newest agent. So we've had 4 agents join, and since our last meeting, which is typical in the busier months, less agents are looking to make moves, but we wanted to welcome Deb, Yolanda, Randy, and welcome back, George, to our LAER family. Let's talk about our sales volume for the month of June. So for June, we did 329 closings at a total volume of 183 million. So great month. I'll show you where that stacks up based on last year's numbers in just a few minutes. We like to take a few minutes from each sales meeting just to say congratulations to our top performers in all of our marketplaces. So first, I want to say congratulations to our top agents and top teams for our Florida market. So congratulations to Harriet and Team Lambert in Florida. Then we want to say congratulations to our top 10 agents for Florida. We have Harriet, Madison, Team Lambert, Ashley Olit, B. Hernandez, Elena Maris, Team Slavon, Jana, Lindsay, and Linda. Congratulations on a great month of June. Then want to say congratulations to our New Hampshire top 5 agents and teams by both volume and sides. So we want to congratulate the Ford Jean team, Pro Homes Group, Sabrina, the Fulford Group, and Karen Pelletier. Next up, we have our top 5 this is top 5 teams by volume for our Massachusetts offices. That is offices located in Massachusetts. Dan O'Connell and Associates is number 1, Sullivan and Company, 2, Silver Key Homes in Tingsboro, number 3, the Results Team in Tewksbury, number 4, and Cook and Company in Billerica, number 5. Congratulations on becoming a top team by volume for June. Next, top 5 individuals by volume. Congratulations to Matt Winterly of Duxbury, Catherine Meisenheimer out of our Wellesley office, Mike Durkin out of Northborough, Pamela Thompson out of Falmouth, and Lauren Casano out of our Westford office. Next, we have our top 5 teams by units. We have Dan O'Connell and Associates out of Dracut, the Vision Realty Group out of Reading, Deb and Phil Rose out of Fairhaven, Silver Key Homes out of Tingsboro, and then the Results Group in Tewksbury. Congratulations. And top 5 individuals by units closed. We have Catherine Meisenheimer of Wellesley, Michael Durkin Northborough, Brenda Albert of Leominster, Sarah Lyman of Athol, and Gail Thomas out of our Fairhaven office. So congratulations to our top performers in all the different categories for the month of June. Then want to just give you guys a side-by-side comparison, only because the market is shifting. I've said at some of our meetings recently that all of us are going to have to work a little bit harder this year to do as much business as we did last year because of the shifting real estate market. So let's take a look at our June 2021 to June 2022. We're up in units and volume. So we're up to 349 units and 189 million in volume, as compared to last June at 316 units and 152 million in volume. However, I want to point out that we've grown significantly in 1 year. So we're up a little bit in our units and volume, but we've added several offices over the last 12 months. In fact, we'll be celebrating this month the 1-year anniversary of the merger with LAER Bowen in Florida, which added about 180 real estate agents in the Florida market. So we'll be heading to Florida in the next 30 days to do a little celebrating with all of our Florida agents. But this just shows you all of the year-over-year numbers, so you could see where we stand. By this time last year, we had done about 1,456 transactions at 618 million. And then this year we're at 1,600 transactions at $756 million. So we're on pace to continue to grow, but we have to work harder to do as much or maybe a little bit more business than we did in previous years. And that's going to be true for all of us in the new and changing real estate climate. So I want to talk about some of the points that we've brought these up at some of our recent training programs, our boot camp. The market has shifted and we're not seeing huge price wars like we saw 1 year ago. Wanted to just go through quickly for everybody, like some of the ways that you can talk about the new market with customers who are freaking out, because we want to encourage our buyers to still get out there and buy. We have seen that some buyers are nervous about the new market because the interest rates have gone up so much. So because rates have changed, they see stuff in the news and they say, wait, I got to hold on. I'm not going to buy right now because the market is, quote, bad. The truth is that the market is changing and there's tons of opportunity. First of all, one of the main points you want to make for buyers in this market is that, yes, the interest rates have gone up significantly. So what that means is that on a $500,000 mortgage, somebody mortgaging $500,000 today, their payment is going to be about $700 higher than it would have been 6 months ago because of the rapid increase in the interest rate. So yeah, the payment's going up $700 because the market or the interest rates have shifted. However, that same buyer now does not have to pay 10, 15, 20% over asking price for the property. So in many ways, it's actually a better market, even with the higher interest rate, because the buyer can get a lower price for the property. And as we know from our normal markets of the past, that is a good thing because the buyer can always go back and refinance when interest rates fall down the road. So a higher rate is better than a higher price. Number two, yeah, the market in some areas, we're seeing price reductions. Those price reductions are a byproduct of the increasing inventory. Inventory is something we haven't seen in at least a year. So that's driving the prices down a little bit, which means on the daily hot sheet, you're going to see price reductions. Just remember that most sellers are buyers. So yes, of course, this impacts sellers. Sellers are not going to get what they may have gotten for their property 6 months or maybe a year ago. However, those same sellers who are going out to buy a property are going to benefit. So especially if they're going to a higher price range, because the benefit they will receive is more than the loss or the lower price they might take on the house they're selling. Third, inspections are back. Inspections are coming back in a big way. When the market got really crazy and there were bidding wars on every property, buyers were choosing not to include an inspection contingency. This is bad for many reasons. Sometimes agents say, oh, it makes the transaction so much easier. The problem with no inspections is that if somebody closes on a property and they find out at a later date after they own the property that there's big problems, maybe the property needs a new heating system or a new roof, and they find out after they've closed, they didn't do an inspection, that causes lawsuits. So inspections are better for all of us. When somebody sues because they're upset that a property was not what they thought it was going to be, they sue everybody. They sue the seller of the property, the real estate brokerage, the real estate agent. In the past 12 months, E&O insurance carriers reported that lawsuits were at all-time peak, and that is because there was a lack of inspections. Inspections protect us all. It makes sure that your buyer is getting what they believe they're getting. It protects the seller from a future lawsuit because the buyer knows up front exactly what they're buying, and it protects our brokerage and our agents from future suits. For a market like the new normal market we're heading into, is great for real estate agents because clients, especially sellers, I say sellers always need an experienced real estate agent to help them negotiate through a transaction. But in the last many years, there were more and more sellers that said, I really don't need a real estate agent. If I put it on the market, the property is going to sell quickly. Well, that may not happen on many properties now. There aren't going to be instant offers on properties. So sellers will realize the importance of having a great real estate agent in the new normal market. The great piece for real estate agents in the new normal market is agent opportunities. Remember the old days when we did open houses because there was an opportunity we might pick up a buyer? Well, in the last 18 months, open houses became crowd control. It wasn't about marketing yourself and meeting people and building rapport with the people that came through the open house. It was literally crowd control. Maybe there were 2 or 3 agents there just to make sure that the house was safe as 70 people came through to tour the property. We're back to a place where open houses are going to once again be an opportunity for real estate agents to build rapport and collect and meet new buyers and new customers. Not to mention, we're going to see more expired listings. Expired listings are an awesome opportunity to reach out to a seller who wants to sell their property, but it didn't sell the first time it was on the market with their previous agent. We're going to see expired listings for sale by owners again. So there's great opportunity in the market for real estate agents. Also, when talking to your buyers, one thing just to point out is that over the last several years, because interest rates were so low, many home buyers, if you go back through the history of buying real estate, one of the big advantages to buying real estate is that buyers or people who hold mortgages can write off the interest of their mortgages. Because interest rates were so low, there wasn't that much interest to write off anyway. So many buyers were just choosing, when they completed their taxes at the end of the year, what is known as a standard deduction instead of an itemized deduction. In other words, their mortgage interest wasn't high enough, so they just go with a standard deduction. So yes, maybe now the interest rates are higher, that they're paying $700 a month more for that $500,000 mortgage. That being said, not only do they get a better price for the property, but also some of that interest now, all of the interest can be itemized on their tax returns. The next piece for us to consider is that we will start seeing real estate agents get out of the market. And I'm going to go through some steps for you guys to work on in the coming months and weeks. It's time for all of us to up our game, because many real estate agents will not survive the new normalized market. The good thing is for those of us who are in it for the long haul, this is our career, there's going to be more opportunity because less people competing for the same pie. Right now, there's more than 3 million licensed real estate professionals in the country, and that is for a total of 5 million transactions. So we need real estate agents to get out of the market, especially the ones that aren't here to do 1 or 2 transactions a year. Leave it to the professionals, the ones that are here to make a living doing it. Next, we're going to see faster closings. So what did we experience when the interest rates were in the 2s? When interest rates are in the 2s, everybody is not only buying real estate, but they're also refinancing. So the people that aren't buying real estate are refinancing their homes. This clogs up our system. It clogs up our banks, our closing attorneys. So at the height of the low interest rate market, we were seeing closings taking 60 days or longer. And now that those are gone, we're not competing with that refinance business like we did last year. We can go back. We'll start to see closings happen in 3 weeks or 30 days. And then last, one piece that's just important to think about, I read an article recently, is that our real estate market feels volatile right now. Really, we're just heading back into a new normalized market. And one thing to remember, though, is that the stock market is volatile right now as well. And many investors actually feel that real estate is the safer investment as compared to like traditional stock market investing. So there are going to be opportunities for investors to work with investors who see that, you know what, rather than put my money into a stock market that can all of a sudden go down by 40%, my investment can go down by 40% or 30% overnight. I feel it's safer to have my money in something that does not move and does not have that high of a risk scale on a monthly basis. And so they're investing in real estate. So all of these are important, not just for you guys, but for you guys to remember these because you're the one that's educating the buyers and the sellers in the real estate market. So these are the important tips that you want to cover when you're talking to buyers or when you have a buyer that says, you know what, I'm going to put everything on hold because the interest rates are high. You want to say, wait a second. You've been waiting for this opportunity to buy for the last 1.5 years, and now you can get the house you want. In fact, you have houses to choose from. So just some great information to remember. I did share, and this is shared on our Facebook group. We'll share it within our Facebook group today, but we shared it on our LAER Facebook walls for the public. But I was recently interviewed by Boston.com about the change in the real estate market, and everything I just covered there, most of that ended up in the article, just educating consumers like, hey, this is not the sky is falling. This is what we've been waiting for, a more normalized real estate market. Okay, so that being said, it's really important, and I started today's program saying that take one thing that you learned today at today's meeting, because we don't want you to waste. Your time is valuable. So if your time is worth $300 an hour, I want you to walk away and change your business. I don't want you to lose $300 because you sat listening to our sales meeting today. I want you to take it and turn it into revenue and income for your business. And that is why let's talk about your listings. It is really important. As a brokerage, we're making changes to be ready for the new normal market. And in a new normal market, we will have to work harder to get listings. And every listing that you take, what I want you to think about, because one thing I noticed in the last 12 months is that less and less agents they were spending less time on the listing. So less agents were doing professional photography, less agents were doing drone photos, less agents were doing staging, because the mentality was the house is going to sell anyways. No matter what, 70 people are going to come through my open house and I'm going to have 14 offers, and I don't need to do that level of work. But no matter what the market, you are always auditioning for your next transaction. So every listing that you take is an audition for your next listing. So let's talk about some of the things you can do to make sure you shine every time you show up at a listing appointment. Then when we go into some company updates, I'm going to show you some things we're doing to help expose your listing in the new normalized market. So first, I want to just talk about the listings in MLS. Please don't be lazy. Each listing is, again, your audition for the next transaction. One thing that I started noticing during the very busy market, where agents putting listings in MLS where like nothing was filled out. So that was like no room sizes, no great description, and not even many photos. So photos, room dimensions, descriptions, attachments, make sure your listing shines. Make sure your listing stands out from all the other average brokers in the marketplace. This is a listing that was on the market a month ago. I don't know if it's still on the market, but literally the photos were horrible. You'll see there was like this only 6 photos. The photos were horrible. And I just want to give a disclosure, it wasn't our listing. But go above and beyond thinking about what happens if the next door neighbor looks at the listing sheet or comes into the open house. You want to shine. You want anybody that looks at your stuff to say, I want to hire this person when I'm ready to sell my house. Put some effort into every single listing you take. This is a good example of a well-written listing description. So I went through some of our agent listings just to get an idea of what's out there, what our agents are posting. Spend a little time enticing people to come visit your listing through a good description. Remember, the reason why all this is so important is like these ugly photos that I just showed you guys a minute ago for a listing that had just come on the market. Those all get transferred to all the websites. So Zillow, Realtor.com, all of this, your description, all of it gets sent off to all these different websites. So this is your online marketing. Take a little time writing a description that will entice people to want to come check out the property, because this description pulls over to all of those different websites. This is my idea of a well-written listing agreement. I'm sorry, listing, MLS listing. You'll see it tells you all the different rooms, even like this person measured the laundry room, things like that. The bathrooms, measured each one. It has what floor each room is on, all the sizes of the rooms. And then look at all these. They checked off all the little boxes from MLS. They took the time to make sure that they were trying to sell the property. This agent did a great job at representing their sellers' interests, because all of this pulls over to the multiple feeds, the Zillows, the Realtor.coms, etc. Also, I think it's a good idea to do floor plans. Most of the photography companies, including many of the ones you guys are already working with, they for a small additional fee will also do the floor plans. And when they do the floor plans, what's great about that, you'll see they do all the measurements for you. So you could just transfer all of this over into the multiple listing service. And let's get back to the professional photography, the drones. Let's tell a story about each listing that we take. Instead of the story being, I just got a new listing and I threw it into MLS as quickly as possible with some iPhone photos that I took. Each listing should tell a story, and each listing should be, that's your audition. It should be getting the consumer excited to look at the property, but also if they're thinking about choosing a great real estate agent, you want your work to speak for itself. Same with like video, drone video, etc. Next, I want you guys to think about your listing and buyer packages. When you go on a listing appointment, or even prior to your listing appointment, which is sometimes helpful so that you can get the consumer excited about getting to meet you, but also if they've lined up more than one agent, you want to shock and awe them from the minute that they make a phone call to you. You want them every step of the way to compare you to the other real estate agents that potentially are coming in to do a market analysis on the property. So these are some of the things that I think every listing package should include. A CMA, of course, a market analysis, a marketing plan with just a one-pager discussing exactly what you're going to do to market the property. And we have all this. You don't have to invent anything or start from scratch. We have the marketing plan, a guide to selling the home, a brochure about LAER. All of this can be found at LAERagentservices.com. We've created Canva templates for all this stuff so that you don't have to start from scratch. It's all created for you. You should have a great resume. So just telling who you are, why somebody should hire you, include some sample marketing pieces, a sample brochure for the property. We also have at LAERagentservices.com, there's a flyer about our AdWorks marketing, since we do 7 days of advertising on AdWorks for all the new listings. I've mentioned before, and I'll mention again, we're one of the only real estate brokerages in the country to have a sustainability team. So of course I would include the LAER sustainability report in my listing package. Also, we have the ROAR report, a beautiful monthly newsletter. Takes 10 minutes to customize your ROAR report on Canva each month. Include the ROAR report. Also, what about a little brochure about the community? Now we've created one of these for you. I'll show you in a minute, but that's also on LAER Agent Services. And then also information about the team you would like to work with, or you'd like the seller to work with, mortgage, title, insurance, etc. This should all be in a beautiful LAER folder should be nice and thick with all kinds of great information, because that seller most likely is inviting 2 to 3 real estate agents into their listing for a market analysis, and you want to shine. So if you don't have a killer package to bring on a listing appointment, this should be the one thing that you work on starting today. And that doesn't mean like you just have a list of what you want in the package. That means go have 20 packages ready so that when you get the listing appointment, you're not dreading the listing appointment because now you have all this work to do to put together your package. When you get the listing appointment, the only thing you should have to work on is the CMA, because the rest of your package is complete. You've already printed 20 of them and you have them in your folder. Same with the buyer package. You should have a guide to buying a home, the buying process, your LAER brochure, a resume about who you are, the sustainability report, a community brochure, your newsletter, the ROAR report, and team information, mortgage, title, insurance. Again, go make up your folder, print 20 of them, so that when you have your next buyer appointment, you show up and you shine as compared to the average real estate agent. Talking about auditioning for your next client, Same goes for the open houses. So open houses are no longer crowd control. Open houses are now your audition time. So what do you put out at an open house? Hopefully you've got listing brochures, beautifully printed and on display, floor plans, condo docs, plot plans, a brochure about LAER. We've already created it for you. It's at laeragentservices.com. A mortgage breakdown sheet, the sustainability reports, a bunch of copies of the sustainability report, information about the community. All of this is at laeragentservices.com. School reports about the local town, your ROAR report, coloring books for the kids. These are on LAER Career Den. We have a cool LAER coloring book. You can just print it out, have them ready at your open house so that the buyers can come in and stay for a while. Their kids can have a coloring book or a LAER word search to keep them busy. Partner and vendor giveaways, maybe a little swag bag, but make each open house an event so that you are memorable. Again, this is your audition for your next transaction. Let your work speak for itself. I already mentioned we're going to see an attrition. We're going to see real estate agents get out of the market. There is going to be no room for average in the new real estate market. I believe in the market of the last 18 months, there was room for average, that you could get your real estate license. And if you had contacts, if you had a decent sized database, you could do some business just through the people you know. You didn't have to be great. In the new market, there will not be room for average. There's going to be too much competition. So let your work speak for itself. It's in these little details, making sure that you shine anytime you show up for an appointment. Let's talk about your online presence as well. It's not, when I say that you're always auditioning for your next transaction, I want you guys to think about this. Go Google yourselves and think about, like, step outside of yourself for a minute and consider, if you Googled you, would you hire you? So if you Googled your name, what do you find out? What would you hire you? This is the time to really work on those little details so that when somebody Googles you, you show up and you look professional. It's obvious that you do real estate for a living when somebody Googles you. So one of the things to do is create your Google page. I think a Google page is even more important than a real estate website. It doesn't matter what, you don't necessarily have to spend hours and hours building a website. All you have to do is make sure that when somebody Googles your name, that whatever comes up makes you look good. One fast way to do that is just to build your Google page. Secondly, for 99% of real estate agents, I don't know why this is, but when you Google your name, your realtor.com page comes up. So I don't know if this is some sort of agreement that realtor.com has with Google, but if your realtor.com page comes up when you Google your name, which 99% of the time it will, if you go Google your name and Google your name with realtor, make sure that page looks good. You can go to realtor.com/welcome/agent profile. So realtor.com/welcome/agent profile. You can just go in, make sure your bio looks good, that you have a photo there, and make sure your page looks good. So if somebody shows up on your page, you look professional. Then take a really close look at your social media. So I was recently doing a class, and I was saying during the class that when kids get into their teenage years and they begin dating people, the first time they come home and they say, "Hey, Mom, I have a new boyfriend," what is the first thing the parents do when their kid has a new boyfriend or girlfriend? The first thing they do is they Google the person. We're talking about the biggest transaction of most of our clients' lifetime. What are they going to do when somebody says, hey, call this real estate agent or work with this real estate agent? They are going to Google you. So really important, go look at what your social media. So when you Google your name, for many of you, the social media is going to come up on that first page. So even more important than a website, they're going to see your social media. From your social media, do you look professional? The reason I say this is sometimes I look at real estate agent webs or Facebook pages, and it's like 3 weeks of like Wordle updates. Like they have been playing the Wordle game and they've made no posts, but it is clear they've been playing Wordle every single day on there. And I don't understand how it works, but it looks like it posts to your social media for you. So that's not good. And it doesn't take a lot of time to look really good on your social media. This is not saying to spend hours and hours every day updating social media. Just spend 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference. And it might be the difference between winning a new client and not. So go look at your social media. What does your social media say about what you do? So like, are you talking about real estate in your social media? Hopefully some of your posts are just about like stuff that you're doing in your business. Your tweets, your Facebook updates, your Instagram. Of course you have family. Of course you go to dinner. Of course you go on vacations. But also mixed into all of that, there should be some talk about real estate. The other piece I want to point out is your business photos. Your business photos should be fun, serious, professional. This is Jessica Preventure out of our Bow, New Hampshire office. And this is a fun photo, but I'll tell you, that's a professional photo. So she has fun professional photos, serious professional photos. All of the photos are professional. I highly recommend, you guys are the CEO of your own businesses, that every year you invest in some updated professional photos. Doesn't mean that they have to be super serious, but make sure that they are professional and up to date. I feel every real estate agent 1 to 2 times a year should do a photo shoot, whether you're a team or an individual agent, have hair and makeup done, have more than one pose so that you can use them throughout the year. And I think it's fun to show lots of sides of you, that there is a serious side, there is a fun side, and then make sure you update all of your different sites. What is bad for your business, because somebody's going to Google you, because somebody said, go use this agent, somebody's going to Google you. And we do not want them to find a bubblehead in your social media. I'd rather you have no social media at all, that they just can't find the social media, than to have a social media page that has Wordle updates or a bubblehead or outdated photos or glamour shot photos from 1997. No iPhone photos of you standing against a beige wall. Just show people you're willing to invest in you so they can be willing to invest in you. Same with your bio. Spend a little time focusing on your bio. On your LinkedIn page, any of the pages that come up on the first page of a Google search, some of those pages are going to have a bio about you, such as realtor.com. Maybe it's your LinkedIn that comes up first, but have a professional bio. How about the LAER Realty page? Update your bio so that when somebody clicks on you, it is obvious that you're in real estate, you take this business seriously, and that you pay attention to details. Your bio is your mini resume. You want it to say how long you've been doing real estate, why you do real estate, why do you love doing real estate here, and then what would you want buyers and sellers to know about you? In other words, why should they hire you? So as you go through it, look at it from the eyes of a buyer or seller and think about, if I read this, would I hire me? And then update all of your different sites. So website, social media, LinkedIn, company website, anywhere that comes up in a search. Sometimes what you'll find out you're still on like a previous brokerage's website. You got to clean up that stuff, because if you Google your name and your bio is still on a previous brokerage's website, you got to take action and go clean that up so that your customer does not end up in the wrong hands. So if you have not been through my Art of War training program yet, I highly recommend it. I did basically a 90-minute training program called the Art of War in a Repositioning Market. Everything I just went through is one little teeny segment of that class. If you want to check out the Art of War in a Repositioning Market class, go to youtube.com/LAER training. And by the way, if you're not already subscribed to our LAER training site on YouTube, when you go to youtube.com/LAER training, you'll see a little button. This one, it'll be a red subscribe button. Subscribe to it. That way, whenever we post something new to the LAER training YouTube, you'll just get a little notification that a new class has been uploaded. So that is the Art of War in a Repositioning Market. I also want to let you know that based on all the work we've done over the last 6 months on really taking a look at how real estate agents show up on their social media, we are going to be launching a new platform in the next 30 days. It's not for everyone. Some of you guys are fantastic at social media. There are others that have Wordle updates on their Facebook all day. That is not good. So we're going to be launching a new platform in the next 30 days, and it's called mindmysocial.com. It is going to be a service that agents can pay for if they want to, but basically it'll handle all of your social media marketing. It'll post your new listings, your under agreements, solds, plus 3 or 4 times a week. It'll post relevant content about real estate. So for those of you who just don't like social media, don't want to handle social media, don't want to do any of it, you'll be able to hand that piece of it over to our mindmysocial.com team. So next month we'll have the official launch of that, and we'll talk more about that. So a few more things for today. First, wanted to let you know this came out of our monthly committees. Many of you guys are involved in our monthly committee meetings. And one of the things that came out through those committee meetings, so for the last 2 years, a daily hot sheet goes out to you guys showing all the new listings, under agreements, sold, price changes within our company. All the Florida agents get one for Florida, and all the New England agents get one for New England. And one of the things that agents asked for was they wanted a better report to come out daily. And what they specifically wanted is they said, we want a more organized report, and we want to be able to click on the new listing and get all the information about the listing, including like who is the agent, the description of the property, stuff like that. So this takes a lot of work. It took us a long time to pull this together, and it takes man hours. The old report was just like pulls from MLS, and whatever MLS has is it regurgitates. The new one is created by humans. So we have a team that is creating this report every day for you. The new report has some cool features. First of all, if you're not receiving this report, the LAER Daily Hot Sheet, it comes from Happy Agent at LAERrealty.com. If you're not receiving this report, number 1, check your spam. And number 2, check the email that we have in the LAER Career Den for you, because the email is going to whatever email we have inside the LAER Career Den. Secondly, each new listing and price change has a link to the listing. So it'll take you over to our LAER website with a full listing about it. We've organized the new listings and price changes based on the highest price first, and we keep them on there for 7 days. After 7 days, the new listing or under agreement or price change falls off the list. What I will tell you is that one of the things agents didn't like is that under the old system, it pulls from MLS. Some MLSs are easy to pull from and some are not. For example, Florida does not let us pull under agreements. In Florida, all we could see is new listings, price changes, and solds. So if you want us to feature your under agreement on the Florida hot sheet, you'll see that there's a little button you can click. So if you put a deal under agreement, buy side or list side, and you want us to show it, there's a little button you can press. Same in New Hampshire. New Hampshire does not pull every listing. Regardless, Mass, New Hampshire, Florida, doesn't matter. We added this little button. So if there's a transaction that is not showing up on that daily hot list, a new listing, a price change, an under agreement, or a sold, there is now a button there, and you can click that button, tell us the information, and we will get that information added to the daily hot sheet. So it'll come out on the next day. So you guys now have a little more control that you can add stuff, including off market. So if you have off markets, you can put them in there. So that is a new change. Let's see. Also, we've added a bunch of things under LAERagentservices.com. Specifically, we added a couple really cool things, knowing that the market is shifting. So number one, if you need open house coverage, you have a listing and you need open house coverage, we have a way of you getting that very easily. All you do is click the button, go to LAERagentservices.com. You'll go down to the little open house section and click on need open house coverage. Click that, tell us all about the coverage you need, and then what the marketplace is. It'll let you click which offices you want to notify. This will send out a blast email to the agents in those offices that you've selected to say, I need somebody to cover my open houses. Same with broker open house notifications. One of the things back when we used to do tons of broker open houses, so this was an item that was kind of on our list for a while, but then kind of broker open houses disappeared for a good year. I think we're going to start to see more broker open houses. If you are doing a broker open house in any of our markets, you just go on to the broker open house notification button. You click that, tell us about your broker open house and which offices you want to notify. So if you want to notify all of the offices in Mass, or all the offices in New Hampshire, all the offices in Florida, or you can pick certain offices, you just click through which offices you want to notify. An email blast will go inviting those agents to your open house. So you have the open house coverage request and the internal broker open house notification form. These are designed to get people to help each other within our brokerage. We also added several productivity checklists and forms. One of my favorite is this IPA checklist. It's called Income Producing Activities Checklist. If you find that you're a little bored and you need to do stuff to generate business, there's a cool little checklist here called your IPA Income Producing Activity Checklist. We also created some buttons under the marketing section, a trusted vendor list, and a local community guide. These are ways for you to go get business right now. So if you find that you're a little slower than you like to be, build your trusted vendor list. This gives you a reason to reach out to landscapers, plumbers, electricians, flooring companies, moving companies, painting companies, to ask if they would like to be one of your trusted vendors. And you have a dialogue with them. Say, I'm going to start referring you through, I'm going to add you to my trusted vendor list, but I'd also like to be the person you refer for your real estate to your customers. We also created a little marketing guide. So all of these open in Canva templates, which means you just open it and you could start customizing it and it's yours. All of this is customizable. It's a little local guide. It's a 2-page guide. So you pick a town, and maybe your town is Delray Beach, Florida. You go do a locals guide to Delray Beach, Florida, and then pick your favorite farmers market, best coffee shop, local boutiques. So this gives you a reason to go out to each of these companies and just say, hey, I put you on my locals guide. Can I leave 100 of these in your store for anybody that comes through. These are opportunities for you guys to create dialogue to get business. As I've had many agents ask about our open letter to sellers, how to pick a great real estate agent. We had this go into several local newspapers. If you're looking for a copy of this so that you can customize it on your own, go to laerrealty.com/open letter. And then we have Craig with us today. Craig, any updates on sustainability at LAER?
Yeah, thanks, Stacy. Absolutely. So a couple things. LAER Sustainability Committee is going to meet next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Kind of an open meeting for a whole bunch of people that are involved regularly. If you would like to participate or get introduced to the LAER Sustainability Committee meeting, just send me an email at cfoley@laerrealty.com and I'll send that out to you. Here's a copy of our sustainability report. Sergio and his marketing team just did a fantastic job making it look really pretty and sexy. It looks fantastic. But Stacey, just one thing I want to highlight to you, there's a lot changing in the real estate industry, as you know, including the Securities and Exchange Commission now, the SEC, for all publicly traded companies, including companies like Compass and Remax, are going to have to be now reporting. This is going through a review stage with the SEC right now, but they're going to have to be reporting their greenhouse gas emissions. I'm working with NAR's Director of Environmental and Sustainability Policy to create a response to this SEC new deliverable and how that's going to impact the real estate industry. But you can imagine, if you're a publicly traded company, are you just reporting your headquarters? Are you reporting all of your affiliate offices throughout the United States? Or are you having to report or estimate the number of miles each of your realtors is working? This could be incredibly complicated. We are way ahead of the game, that we're already on track with doing much of this reporting, and we're not a publicly traded company, at least as far as I know, Stace. You might have something, and who knows with you, and things are going so quickly. But we are well positioned, and that's why NAR asked me to participate in our response, because we're the only real estate company that's doing this kind of reporting. So that's just new, fast, quick stuff going on. I'll send it back to you, Stace.
All right, awesome stuff. All right, next up we have Nicole Choate DeRosa from Coast to Coast Closings in New England with us. Nicole, I'm going to bring up really quick your new website. So tell us about, you have a new Coast to Coast Closings website that you basically designed to help agents market. Tell us a little about it.
Yes, Sergio, Stacy, and I worked on this website. So what we tried to do was do it a little bit different than a typical website, closing office website. And what we're trying to do is, instead of you guys calling in and being like, hey, can I have so-and-so? And it takes us a little while, or we're in a closing, or this, that, or whatever. We designed the website that you can go directly to the website, download what you want, whether it's marketing, disclosures, forms, anything like that, on the actual website. The other thing we did on the website, and Sergio can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's the website and also the Facebook page, is our awesome new Coast to Coast closing sign. It says closed. The buyers that I have had close in the office have been so excited. They love doing selfies after they've closed a loan. So we're putting those up on there, tagging the agent, tagging the buyers on that. But as Stacy was saying, the entire time with the marketing and the market shifting, we're really excited to go a little bit different with the website and focus more on the agents, the real estate agents, the marketing that you guys need to do to get out there. And in turn, I can help and would love to be a part of that also.
So if you guys go to ctcclosings.com, and by the way, even if you're a Florida agent, all of the marketing stuff on here is for any of you guys. If you go to ctcclosings.com, go under agent resources, And you'll see a couple different places. One is sample real estate forms. This is like disclosures, addendums, agreements, repair agreements, stuff like that. We work to create this massive database of forms that agents ask for quite frequently, but also we've built out a really cool agent marketing section, and it's got like a 14-page guide to after closing. So if you want to give a little gift to somebody after closing, you'll find, and we update this all the time, tons of social media posts, Instagram stories. This has 100 different social media posts. These are all templates through Canva. Inspection checklists. We also work with a lot of Spanish buyers at coast to coast. So you can click here and there's some great Spanish home buying materials, but all of it is in Canva, and it is meant to be, it's templated so that you can add your contacts, your logo, your information, etc. The other thing we're really excited to launch next month at Coast to Coast is we have a massive database of real estate agents that our Coast to Coast team works with, like 50,000 real estate agents that we market to. So we're building out marketing lists. What we're going to be able to do for our VIP Coast to Coast agents is, let's say you get a new listing in Melrose and you want to blast all the real estate agents in the market about your new listing. We're going to be able to do that for you through our marketing platform that we've created. So the whole idea is we didn't want to be just an average closing company that just says thank you for the business and you get nothing else out of it. We wanted to build something really unique where we truly partner with you. How many closing companies out there, really their value proposition is giving away Red Sox tickets? Like, that's no value proposition in our book. We wanted to create something that helps great real estate agents go do more business. And so we've launched a phenomenal website, but we're going to take it much further with our new marketing programs as well. Let's see, just a reminder to everybody to get out and make sure if you need help finding anything at LAER, there's two places to look for it, LAERagentservices.com as well as LAERrealty.com/success tools. That's where you can find our most recent program guide. As a reminder, every month we put out a new newsletter, the ROAR report, now editable in Canva to make your life even easier. You can find that on the LAER Career Den. I did just see two questions that came through the chat. One agent asked, when is the new Mind My Social marketing platform coming out? We're in the next 30 days, probably sooner. We'll send out an email on it. Brian, I'll send you information first, since looks like something you might be interested in. And then I saw there was also a question where to find the coloring books, the LAER coloring books for kids. If you go to the LAER Career Den, when you go to the LAER Career Den, click on the library, and then under the library, you'll see at the very bottom, there's a section for like kids stuff. It's in there. There's some word searches and a little printable coloring book for kids. Market update. So we no longer post monthly. We used to, on our Career Den, post like market reports for a bazillion different markets. And now if you need a social media post about a particular market, either a region like a county or a state or a city, you can go to LAERagentservices.com and you'll see under the marketing section, the market update link. Fill that out and our team will create the social media piece for you. Don't forget to go to LAERrealty.com/training and you can see all of our upcoming training classes. Basically every Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, we have some great training, some great classes coming up for the month of July. And don't forget to go to youtube.com/LAER training And make sure to subscribe to that YouTube station so that way you get notified anytime a new training program goes live. As a reminder, you can go visit any of our offices. If you have like a weekend appointment or want to go nights, weekends, you can go to laerrealty.com/office access to check out any of our offices or to use any of our office locations. This link will give you the lockbox or office door code for any of our office locations. If you're interested in joining a committee, go to laerrealty.com/committees. Sign up to participate in one of our committees. And as always, if you need anything at all, you can always email us. One last piece I want to remind our New England agents is we do have a survey going out this week to our New England agents only. And that is because we're applying again for the Top Places to Work program. So when you see the survey come out, if you don't mind taking just 5 minutes to fill out that survey. So hopefully we can make it on to the Top Places to Work for 2022. And with that, I want to thank everyone for attending, and we will see you all on August 10th. Have a great day, everyone.